New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hello and welcome to Global Focus Today. I am your host, Reverend Sharri Johnson, and this week's guest is just a marvelous. You're going to be thrilled. This week we have Reverend Dr. Charles Geddes, he wrote, if he had never done anything else in his life except write the best world peace meditation anybody ever wrote, that would be good enough for me. But oh no, he didn't stop there. He's the driving force behind the Big Sky retreat that's in Montana every year. He has a brand new focus ministry called Mind Your Own Becoming. I wouldn't care what it was about. I just love the name, but it is about some really cool stuff. And that's not all. I mean, he does all kinds of stuff, and I'm not going to tell you all of it because I want him to tell you all of it. So please help me welcome Reverend Dr. Charles Geddes back once again to Global Focus Today. It's so wonderful to have you here, Dr. Charles. Thanks for coming.
Good morning. Yay.
I know that there are a whole lot of things about Mind Your Own Becoming that you want to talk about. And I want people to hear them because it's a whole different kind of ministry. And that's what this program is about. But you've had an experience recently that makes me so proud of you. Dr. Charles got scammed. And he didn't get scammed a little bit. He got scammed a lot. And what he has brought out of that is just astonishing. I want you to talk about what you've learned and how you've grown and what the difference it has made in your life is. And then we'll talk about Mind Your Own Becoming, okay?
Okay. And charging into that reflection is huge because I realized in hindsight, but that the reality that I'm not alone in the fact of people having been scammed, but the first time for me and the realization of how easy it is to happen and fall for it, but that I want to highlight what I've gained from, but I have to reference that I have a process of moving through my journey in my life. And first of all, allowing myself, and this has come after many, many years, but allowing myself to feel the feelings that have emerged from whatever occurred. And I can tell you that when I finally realized the depth of where I was being preyed upon, and that it was rooted in that from the very beginning, I was reacting from primal fear and primal guilt and primal shame that I had done something wrong. And the scammers are trained to be professionals at what they do. And I fell for and swept into believing with all my heart that the person before me was genuinely caring about me to resolve the situation. And the bottom line, I fell for a scam that was a text through what I thought was Amazon. Never do that, anyone. If anything, that I can pass that on to you. The scammers definitely use your text to pull you in to begin with. And most all corporations and etc., they immediately go to the direct corporation or to the source or to your bank. But the bottom line, I didn't do that. And the end result and of everything I did, I will not go into details of that, but that I lost all but $1,000 in my bank account, which wasn't quantum to begin with, but I did have about $9,000 there. And for me, that was quantum. But this is what I've observed when I was able to step back from the great feelings of shame on you, Charles. How stupid could you be? What an idiot you were. And allowing all of that to come through my body. And then there was a cleansing in that, and obviously going to the bank, getting everything cleared as to the fact that I had been scammed and a new account. But the observance was this: that we all have subjective fear, subjective shame, subjective guilt. And that when it all comes up at once, we are really in what I call emotional quicksand. And it's not easy to pull ourselves up out of that. And when I was finally able to clear all the feelings that were emotional and come to a place that I could be the observer and not the judge and executioner of myself, I took a look at the sum total of my life, and I realized, I haven't lived out of fear reaction in my life as a predominant action. I have made decisions and let go of everything I knew as it was and gone into the unknown without a net, because I believed in grace and that I would find my way through and up. So I never thought that I could be reacting from fear as potently as I did in a matter of 2-3 days. And just that kind observance was so huge. And being able to begin the self-forgiveness, and out of that realizing, wow, I have to forgive the scammer, because the whole journey of forgiveness, and that's going to lead us into mind your own becoming, but the whole journey of forgiveness is that it's full circle, because that's the only thing that will move me on, that will set me free. And I want to read, because I was going to share these anyway at the beginning, but I want to share these 2 quotes, one from Gary Zukav and one from Wayne Dyer. From Gary: forgiveness means that you do not carry the baggage of an experience. Forgiveness means that you do not hold others responsible for your experiences. When you hold someone responsible for what you experience, you lose power. And Wayne Dyer: if we have not learned forgiveness, we may master all the other principles and will still remain prisoners. You have literally given control of your life to those whom you have judged to have wronged you. Forgiveness means changing your misperceptions. When we forgive another for anything he or she may have done to us, we are really saying, I no longer give you the power to control who I am, how I think, and how I behave in the future. I take responsibility for all that now. Forgiveness is an act of self-love rather than some altruistic, saintly behavior. And this great Chinese proverb, the one who pursues revenge should dig 2 graves. All I know is this, that I'm on a journey of forgiveness and to remember what I came from, which was unconditional love. My forgiving those that scammed, or forgiving those that are doing such horrific things in regards to humanity as we see it, isn't condoning what they do. Isn't like, it's okay, it's not. It's terrible. But that I want to pray for them as equally as I pray for myself to be in a higher view, in a higher place. And that's the only thing that ultimately will be a part of the human race evolving. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I believe you. I know that's your story and you're sticking to it. I know that mind your own becoming is who you are. It's what you are. And that there probably aren't 10 other people I know who could come out of that experience with the same degree of self-examination and truth. And you are such a truth with a capital T kind of person. I just absolutely love it. And so now we're ready to learn more about what mind your own becoming is, now that we know where it came from. And where it came from is part of you.
Yeah.
That's
It is. And if anything, I am the wiser, I am the clearer, I am the stronger. And also to just wrap it all up in that reality that, my accountability is that I lost. That was the price that I paid. I lost those funds. And I would not go on a big situation or campaign to get it back, because the bottom line, I made the decisions that cost what it did. And I accept that, and I live by grace. And mind your own becoming is really a collective vision that we might stand on a healing bridge. I love the idea of bridges, and a healing bridge together, that we can compassionately listen and learn something we have not known or understood about one another, to forgive what we have not understood, and plant the seeds for future generations to know that love and respect and care for all without exception is the call for all humanity to remember, without exception. And we so vitally need, and this is happening on multi-levels all over the world. In actuality, mind your own becoming is not unique to that. It is its own little thimble of souls coming together, that we can realize how important it is. The ultimate journey of life is, how can we make a difference? We make a difference every day by the vibration and the thought that we bring to the world every day. That every day that we make a difference in regards to what we carry forward is the essential reality of healing, first of all, for ourselves and for the world. And gosh, I'm open to more questions here.
Well, then I'm going to ask you some more. I'm thinking that one of the words I have heard you use over and over and over again, and two phrases, in fact, 2 terms that you use over and over again, that seem to me to be very much interconnected. And so I'd like you to talk about the relationship between compassion, genuine compassion, and the importance of self-forgiveness.
Genuine compassion doesn't really occur without the ultimate reality of self-forgiveness. And the journey that is involved, that my own recent experience and the shame that was so rooted in that I had done something wrong, that we all feel that in so many instances that we have been shamed or that we've learned shame, and that compassion, when I finally have compassion for Charles, then I begin the journey to be clear of codependency or doing things out of a need to prove myself, to prove my goodness. And, I love to remember how vital it is that ministry is my call. I actually feel that Mind Your Own Becoming is simply a call to be active in our journey of what we carry forward, and that it's not like a center or a church, but it is so integral to do the inner work on yourself and come to a place where you have a sense of regard, because out of that, then you can truly not be doing things to prove your worth, but valuing that you have integral worth to begin with.
You have just bumped up against one of my favorite concepts, and that's the idea of conscious evolution. It seems to me that conscious evolution and mind your own becoming are just right smushed up against each other. And again, another example of how your life is your ministry, and that is just 2 years ago, you just upped and moved from Florida all the way to Montana. I mean, you didn't move next door. You didn't move up the street a little ways. You moved to the opposite side of the continent. To a whole, I mean, there's nothing the same in the environment where you are now from the environment where you were then. I'm pretty sure you don't spend a whole lot of time walking around in shorts and bare feet in Montana.
No, I don't.
In Florida, So I'm thinking, tell me what conscious evolution looks like in your life, in addition to moving halfway across the world to start something new, all on your own. I mean, you didn't have a big crew behind you. You just upped and went.
I didn't have a big crew, but I had grace. And I live by grace. My source is grace. What I lost in that scam, I will regain through grace. And I know that absolutely, resolutely, without any issue or question. And I also know when I'm complete somewhere. And sometimes it takes a while to really realize, Charles, you're done here. You've done what you've set out to do, and you need to let it go. And I think that's a struggle for a lot of people, that not letting go, not realizing when, hey, it's time to stretch. Yeah, I do not want my life to be so comfortable that I'm not willing to let go. I want to feel that charge within me to be willing to move into an unknown reality. And the whole move from Florida to here was unknown in the context of how, first of all, it began in 2020 with Black Lives Matter, of like, I want to stand, I want to be doing something more in my journey and work, no longer in leading centers or churches. But I had no idea what it would be. And then the COVID reality. So my decision to move to Montana was a 2-year journey, because I didn't actually make that drive and journey until It's coming up 2 years now. This is 2023, and it was 2021, April, that I started cross country. And I had created a group of friends in Helena, Montana, through helping them with their church. And so I had some people to support me, to guide me in this new territory. But the bottom line, and to just kind of be a closure to this segment of what I'm sharing, it is so important that when you are complete, when you know in your heart, this needs to change, I need to shift and change, that you have the courage, the vulnerability to do it. And I love my mantra that people know now pretty much by heart that have been around me long. The universe has my back, and angels go before me and prepare the way. And that's how I live.
So I was going to ask you, where does that courage come from? But I think you just told me it's a 5-letter word that starts with G and ends with race. Because grace seems to be the key to everything you do.
It is. It's everything. And I know her very well. Yeah. She is my companion. She is my means and way of staying in gratitude. She is my means and way of pulling me out of some of the darkest moments that I could ever imagine. And I can tell you that this past experience, I wouldn't define as a dark moment. I would call it an extraordinarily painful one. But it wasn't because somehow I knew, Charles, this has come to pass, not to last. And whatever this is about, there's something for you to gain out of this ultimately, and you'll do it. No matter how hard it is to see it, you'll do it. And I live by that premise, and that I choose to rise. All the things on the journey and reality of forgiveness, I want to reference in a moment that our focus for Mind Your Own Becoming through the month of April is all going to be on forgiveness and the multi-realities of it, individually, collectively, in our world, and in the currency of everything that's going on in our world, in the critical race theory that is so seeking to be banned in so many states. And the whole reality of that is that it's about awakening. It's not about anything other than, can we be accountable for the past? And it doesn't mean that because I wasn't there in the past, we all were, whether we know it or not. We all generationally, I believe, have had many lives. So the bottom line is we're all accountable for where humanity is in this very moment. And that I want to learn from that observance, and not to be feeling shame and hatred about anything, about myself or anyone, but be open to have the courage to listen to stories that I haven't known, I haven't heard, to history that I have been lied to about, and can finally be told the truth about and say, this shouldn't happen in the future. So how can I live my life in a higher way to make a difference in my circle, in my family, in my friends, and in everything I do?
I love it. One of the questions I ask everyone, and I asked you this question the last time you were here, I'm going to ask it again because you're beginning the answer anyhow. And that is, what does your ministry do? How does your ministry, pick a verb, enhance, promote, encourage world peace? How is it that Mind Your Own Becoming is laying a foundation for world peace? Because that's what it's doing. I can feel it. That's what it's doing. But tell us about it.
I'm always going back to the fact that this is so different than, quote, ministry as I began over 50 years ago and into the concepts of church ministry and work. And that it is to be ministering to yourself. It is to be ministering and awakening to the importance of doing the inner soul work upon yourself and being your own best inner guide and teacher as you are willing to learn and go deeper into the reality of the blocks and the things that have held us back from having a greater sense of inner peace, of inner love, of inner regard. And that's not about ego. That's about soul. That's about soul nurturing for myself and for everyone. And so peace in the world cannot really be until I have found a peace within myself that no matter what I'm moving through, no matter what I'm going through, no matter what grief, what loss, what situation, what condition, that there is something stronger than that inside of me than the condition or the experience. There is something that says, Charles, yes, you can. And so in Mind Your Own Becoming, it is really for everyone. Yes, you can. You can rise to something greater and higher and something more than you've known by having that willingness to, no matter how painful at times it may be, but to open your minds. You know, I believe fully the heart is always open. The heart can be wounded and bruised, but it's transcendent. It's a vessel symbolizing Holy Spirit, infinite love, unconditional love. Minds break and separate us from the open heart. And so Mind Your Own Becoming is really about minding the gold in your mind to the open heart, where you can find all the resolutions to the things that are before you.
Okay, I like that. All right, so I could just sit here and let you talk and just listen. I don't care, but I've got to do my job. And so, could you tell us a little bit about what the format of Mind Your Own Becoming is? What kinds of activities are you doing? What kind of services are you? What kinds of things? We've got your website down there so people can find out about you. But tell us, what are you doing? How are things working? How are things happening?
Well, our weekly Zoom program is on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we have an hour format. And we are in the process now of being able to do more marketing and more promoting and advertising to have more people be aware of what we do. And I bring on, at the moment, I usually begin each week with a concept or a theme, as it will be in April. It will be on the subject of forgiving. And I have wonderful people following the following 3 weeks that will be sharing on different avenues of forgiveness. So every month it is about bringing as many new people as we can, some that are truly consistent in what they contribute and bring to MYOB. But the expansion that we want is to be able to offer more workshops and perhaps mini classes in the context of a 4-week series. And we haven't quite gotten there yet. We've done 2 or 3, but we want to do ongoing more. So what I would say is this: please check us out. Come to myobincorporated.org and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, but you'll get the weekly e-blast of what the events are going to be. And please experience us, open to us, and share with friends. And the idea is that we continue to expand to be able to offer so much more than our weekly broadcast. But I can tell you the 2 years of doing Mind Your Own Becoming have been the most amazing, incredible experience of my life. And I've had a lot. But that I know in my heart that New Thought in its origin was about teaching us to be willing, to just be willing to see things from a new perspective and from a new place. And it's moved and evolved from the fact of, you can demonstrate, you can have this and that. I don't do the this and that things in that way anymore, because all I want is what I carry out of this life. Not that I can demonstrate parking spaces, not that I can do, which is fine. It's great, great. Oh my God. Of course, I was thrilled in the beginning. Like, oh my God, I did it. But I want people to know that life, love, life, power, peace, beauty, joy are the things that I want to carry up. And so why not start now and let people know that our life is not measured by wealth or material things. Our life is measured by the vibration and the energy we bring to another to say, you are so incredibly beautiful, just as you are. And there's so much more for you to discover inside yourself. Mind your own becoming. Open to that gold mine inside and carry it forward.
Okay, I got another one of those. I ask everybody this question, and I asked you before, and I expect that the answer will be a little different this time. Not a whole lot, but a little. So I'm going to ask you again. 10 years from now, and we're New Thought people, so age is not an issue. 10 years from now, if everything goes exactly the way you want it to go, if every single event, every activity, every person is exactly what you would like it to be, what does Mind Your Own Becoming look like?
That it may be in other hands, and that I've done sufficient work and growth in myself and in the organization, that the hands that I pass it on to, that they carry on the heartfelt, the legacy of love, and that we are seeing and measuring the reality all over the world that things have shifted and changed, that we're no longer in the predominant divisiveness and hatred and prejudices that are so apparent today, that there is a shift in the world consciousness because groups like Mind Your Own Becoming have done their good work, and that generations ahead are so aware that we can make a difference worldwide by caring for, by loving, by compassionately being there for others without exception. So the children born in the future are born in a constancy, predominant reality of love for one another. And we're not seeing separateness. We're seeing there's no others. There's just us. There's all of nature. There's every living thing. And it's I and you, you and me, we in it, whatever it is the reality, the source from which I came, which is stardust, and we're all together in it. That's what I want to see.
Oh, I'll have an order of that. Thank you very much. Okay, so here's my last question I asked everybody. I've already asked you, and I want the same answer you gave me last time. Will you come back?
Oh, I would be thrilled to come back.
Okay.
Yes, and can I briefly? I want to show my Grace companion here.
Oh yes, you showed him last time too. Bring him over.
So Gus is just waking from a little nappy, but Here he is, my little Grace companion, Gus
Hello.
Jacobson. Say
Hello.
hi, Gussie.
Hi.
Yay. Yay.
You know, dog is just God spelled backwards.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
So
Hey. All right. Thank you, Reverend Sharri. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next opening I have is November the 14th. Can I plug you in?
I'm plugged in.
Good. Yippee. Hooray. Thank you so much.
All
And
right. God
everybody,
bless.
I want you to come back next week. Our guest next week is Reverend Verona Garland, and her ministry is called Prosperity on the Move. So it's going to be different from anything, as every week is, different from anything we've done before, and there's bound to be something new and exciting. So join us then. And for the meantime, bye-bye.
Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things. Amazing, amazing, you will do amazing things.
On behalf of everyone at New Thought Media Network, thank you for being a member of our virtual family. Your financial contributions help share the New Thought message with people from around the world. Please visit and contribute at www.ntmedia.org/donate. New Thought Media Network, come be you. And please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace and blessings.